What's up, y'all? Shout out the new merch, man. It's here, it's here, it's here. Go ahead and go to thatman.store. That's thatman.store. And you can get the hand down, man down merchandise right now. Go ahead and click that, man. We appreciate y'all.
That's cool.
Welcome to another edition of the Mark Jackson Show. I'm Mark Jackson. We're on the Come and Talk to Me Network. This is my dynamic, incredible co-host, Bluu. We're back, baby. Got to pay some bills first, so Bluu, let's pay some bills.
Pops, first off, it's good to see you, man. It's good to be back. It's been a lot of people asking for us, so it's a blessing, man, just to be here. I'm glad to see you, man. Shouts out to Underdog fan.
Hold on. Before you give the shout out, is this Grammy week? Look, is this a new? We can't just.
That's what I'm saying, Pops. That's what I'm saying. That's why I had to just say something real quick, because I'm like, yo, you don't see me how I see me, baby. Like, you ain't gonna say nothing. Like, I know I look good. You can't say I done came back in a little. You see, I brought out the little sheep. Lamb of God is praises to the Most High. You already know, Pops. Give me some love, man. You looking good too. What's that?
No, don't do that.
Chuck?
Don't do that. This represent my guy AI, Bubba Chuck, Allen Iverson, the great Allen Iverson.
That's fire.
But I love your look. I love your look. But let's pay some bills. Let's pay some bills, man.
You're right. My bad, Pops. I got you. Shouts out to Underdog, man. Y'all go ahead and click the link in the description. Use the promo code MARK. That's MARK. They're matching a first-time deposit up to $1,000, and you'll get a specialty pick. Go ahead and do that right now, man. We appreciate y'all. And also, we appreciate all of the love, all the comments, everything that we saw while we was taking this break. It's been a lot of stuff going on. The wildfires in California set us back a little bit. I was with my son. He was at my house for a little while. It's been a lot of things going on, so we appreciate all the prayers, the Instagram DMs, the comments, everything that y'all are sending, man. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And speaking of prayers and thoughts, I want to give a special prayer and thoughts to our guy, Irv Gotti, who passed away just recently. Send some love to Chris Gotti and the Gotti family, one of New York's finest, a Queens legend, a music legend that impacted so many. Rest in peace, nothing but love and respect, and certainly thinking about you and yours during this time to the Gotti family.
Yes, definitely, Pops. I gotta say it too, man, because that's a family and Chris that gave me my first shot. And I got that news and it hit me like a ton of bricks, man. That family has been good people. They've made history. And whatever you want to say about Irv goes down as a legend, man. And only love and respect for his family and what he left on this earth. And blessings, man. So, Pops, a lot of heaviness to start off this show. But I guess I'll go and ask you first off. Recently in news, Steve Kerr said he thinks that the NBA should push back the trade deadline to All-Star Weekend. Some of his reasonings include the awkwardness between players and coaches in that week leading up, and just the time frame. He feels that it's a little bit not ideal. So what's your thoughts about this, Pops?
I understand where the great Steve Kerr is coming from. I understand that the advantages of pushing the trade deadline back, but in my opinion, I leave it just as it is, because whether you push it back to All-Star Weekend or leave it where it is, these tough conversations where people are being traded in the middle of the day, in the middle of games, in the middle of situations during the course of the season, they're going to have to be had no matter what. So to me, I leave it as is. And at the end of the day, you're talking about people being traded with their families, having to move, having to sell houses, having to buy houses, having to take kids out of school, having to find kids school. All of these things make it uncomfortable. But these are situations that you just can't avoid. You just cannot avoid.
Now, have you been in a situation where I just had flashbacks of my whole childhood? Yes, you've been in a situation where you traded and didn't expect it. How does that feel from a player's standpoint?
It's difficult. The one time I can recall, well, the two times I was traded during the course of the season, I was going from Denver back to Indiana, so I was very familiar with it, and I was okay with it. It was fine for me. And then the other time was going from Toronto back to New York to play for Jeff Van Gundy again, where he gave me a call, asked me, did I want to get traded back? Was I okay with it? And obviously going back home was a welcome sight for me, so it wasn't as uncomfortable. The other times I believe I was traded, it was during the course of the off season, so it made life a little bit easier. But one thing that stands out to me as a coach of the Golden State Warriors, I can remember we had a game against the Sacramento Kings on the road, and we were in the middle of a trade, trading Monte Ellis, our dynamic two guard, who had an outstanding career, trading him. And the news was going to break soon, and I'm sitting in the locker room as the team is warming up because I didn't want it to be uncomfortable, him finding out on the court, him finding out during the game. It just was awkward. So I remember Bob Myers and Joe Laker was driving from Oakland to Sacramento, and we was trying to time it just right. And unfortunately, they didn't get there in time, so I had to break the news to Monte Ellis. Uncomfortable conversations, but these are conversations that you got to put your grown man suit on and have. And he understood it. He was professional, and we did it in as classy as a manner as you possibly can, and you move forward. It happened all the time in this league. What I don't appreciate is when people, me as a player, me as an announcer, me as a coach, when they don't want to have these tough conversations and they avoid communicating and letting guys know that they're traded or whatever, they find other ways. That's classless, and that's not how big-time organizations do it.
Now, we've gone over the premise. We've talked about the trades. Now we got to really talk about what's went down this last week, Pops. The Lakers are back, man. What's up, Pops? I know you was talking about us early on like we wasn't back. You see Big Luka. You see, hold on. Let me not even hop over. Big Rob going crazy. Rob Pelinka is doing a great job with Pops. I don't need all of that. Let us have our moment in the sun. Shouts out to Big Rob. Everybody doubted him. They thought he wasn't going to get it done. Now look at us, man. We in position, baby. We got Mark Williams. We got Luka. We got a few other moves that we still going to make. Let me hear your thoughts on the Lakers pieces that they've acquired so far, Pops.
First of all, I think it's comical that now he's Big Rob because you and everybody else were ready to throw him underneath the bus and get rid of him and talk about how he wasn't doing a good job. To his credit, he pulled off a heck of a deal. Now, one thing I will caution the people to is you got rid of a home run talent in Anthony Davis, a first ballot Hall of Famer, a champion, an elite big in this league, an elite player in this league. So you got rid of something, but you did get a generational talent, a 25-year-old, 5-time first All-NBA team player who's a special talent, and it's just about him being on the floor, and his impact is going to be felt right away. I love the trade, even though you gave up a great player in Anthony Davis. The reason why is because with LeBron James and Luka Doncic, the Lakers have the ability to control games against anybody they play. They can get a quality look every single time down the floor on the offensive end. They can allow those guys to dictate the pace. They take care of the basketball. They got great size and versatility. Now the challenge is going to be with those two guys defensively, but you can put some pieces around them, and you get Williams at the 5 protecting the rim, also a lob threat. They got great versatility, great depth, and the future's awfully bright, not just now, but this is a trade that was made for the future. Luka's a special talent. There's no question about that. People say, well, is he going to be able to perform in Los Angeles? Will it bother him in the bright lights? The dude has been a pro since he's been 15, 16 years old. He's been in the bright lights. This is nothing new to him. He represents a country. He's going to be just fine. It's going to be fun to watch him in purple and gold, just how impactful he could be, not just this year, but like I said, moving forward.
Now, one aspect that I haven't heard too many people touch on is the fact that this is still a new coach that is coming into a situation where you trade away your second best player and you bring in this juggernaut of a player. What is your first step as a head coach?
Well, my first step is I'm a fan of the game. I'm a student of the game. So what Luka brings to the table, I'm not surprised at. So I've already put together things that will put him in the best possible position to be effective on the floor and will make him feel comfortable. I'm going to run some things that the Dallas Mavericks ran to make them successful. I don't have to recreate the wheel. So it's going to be a steady diet of high screen and roll, isolations, up-tempo play. I can now utilize LeBron or Luka on that second unit to steal minutes because they can run the offense through those two guys and make life a little bit easier to prolong the game, prolong the impact that both of those guys have on the game. To me, it's an easy adjustment. And I think if it was my first time as a coach, when I was a first-time coach, we won 23 games with the Golden State Warriors. I took over a team that went to the playoffs, I believe, one time in 19 years. It's a different situation. You have tailor-made home run first ballot Hall of Famers that's in that rare room in Luka and LeBron. So J.J. Redick, who's done a very good job, will continue to do just that. This team is going to be a team that's going to have to be dealt with as we move forward towards the playoff time and the conference finals times and the finals time. They're going to be relevant and a dangerous out. One thing I got to touch on, though. I do not, no side of me believes that only Nico Harrison, Rob Pelinka, and ownership knew about this. You just can't convince me of that. You can't convince me that Luka's agent and Bill Duffy, you can't convince me that Anthony Davis' agent and Rich Paul had no clue. And if you did let them know a week ago, you can't convince me that Rich Paul didn't call his number one client, who's a franchise player for the Los Angeles Lakers, who would be impacted with this trade. And even if he said, keep it between us, I got to let you know this. Somehow that discussion was made, and it was only kept between Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka and ownership. And that's negligence as ownership or management, in my opinion, because you owe it to Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic, LeBron James to have some sort of discussion, even if we keep it under wraps.
Yeah. Now, who do you think won the trade?
I think both teams won the trade, and I'm not bailing out, standing on the fence. What was the reason that you traded Luka Doncic? There is a reason. We don't know it yet, but it will come out at some point. There's a reason that the Dallas Mavericks and Nico Harrison made the trade, getting rid of Luka Doncic. And I do not believe it's because he was getting $300+ million. He was getting that. He's getting the max deal now. He lost money because he can't get 300-something million now because he was traded. But he's going to get the max deal. There's no negotiating with Luka Doncic. He's going to get the max deal. I don't know what it is that made them trade him, but we will get to the bottom of that. But I believe the wild card in this is the depth and versatility that the Dallas Mavericks have. They are a legitimate championship team. We could fall in love with the Lakers, and rightfully so. They are a legitimate championship team, but so is the Dallas Mavericks. They now have a inside-out attack. They got a versatile big. They got a versatile big behind Anthony Davis, who prefers to play the power forward position. Now you have two energetic, athletic bigs in Lively and Gafford behind him. You have versatility at the wing position. They add Caleb Martin to Dallas. I mean, this is a team that is going to be fun to watch, and they're going to be set for the foreseeable future. So these two teams are going to be rivals for the foreseeable future, and very fun to watch. So I don't know. The Lakers won because they got the best player in the prime of his career, but I understand why both pulled the trigger and made the deal happen. And they're going to be fun to watch.
I don't honestly understand both sides of why you pulled the trigger. And when you say we don't really know what it is, I know it's not the 300 million. It's 300 something. It's the 300 pounds that he was approaching and that they were talking about. And it's the same thing that Luka has said is not an issue. And I personally don't feel it's an issue when a dude is going to get crazy numbers. So many games in this last playoff series when Luka obviously wasn't in his peak physical condition, but he still was one of the best players in the league and took you to the finals. And a dude that is, how tall is Luka?
6'6", 6'7", 6'8".
Come on, man. We nitpicking with the dude being 260, 270. We watched LeBron play at huge weights and be effective and win. And so I think that when you start to doubt greatness, and a guy like Luka, who has been great since a teenager and has proven it, I think we've gotten caught up in the moment and we've nitpicked something that was beautiful. And sometimes when you look at a big picture and you too up close to it, I think the Mavericks were just a little too close to this picture and they weren't able to see the whole thing. And they looked at a flaw in the corner, and they will look back, I believe, and say this was a knee-jerk reaction and a mistake.
They got Anthony Davis, though. So you did get a franchise talent and a Hall of Famer in the trade. You did flip Luka for something that is sustainable and could make you relevant moving forward. I totally agree with you. When you talk about a guy averaging 30 plus, 8 plus assists and 8 plus rebounds and shows up playoffs, conference finals, get you to the finals, you can take for granted what he brings to the table. I've seen some guys in incredible shape with less than 10% body fat I want no parts of, that can't play dead. And when the lights are brightest, they fade to black. So I love Luka Doncic. I love what he brings to the table. He's a generational talent, and he's a superstar in this league. And he's going to be fun to watch, like I said, for a long time to come. So, but it's something behind why they made the deal, why they had discussions, and why they initiated the contact with the Lakers. Think about if you was Rob Pelinka and the phone ring is Nico Harrison and the Dallas Mavericks, and they offering you Luka Doncic. You think it's a prank call? You think it's a joke?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and I think this is going to be a storyline in the NBA, not just for weeks, not just for months, but in these last years as LeBron wraps up and we see what happens with these two teams. This will be something that we continue to revisit.
The crazy thing is, I know how big of a Laker fan you are, a LeBron fan you are, and I want to say, where were you when you found out? But I know you was on your ninth dream because I picked up the phone once I confirmed it, and I called you and it went to voicemail. I know you were asleep and didn't find out till the morning. What happened? How did you find out?
Pops. It was Grammy weekend. You ain't see Beyonce won. You ain't see it was other things on my mind. I did not expect for this trade to go down, man. So I was asleep. I was tired. It was a long weekend. It was a lot of different things. My son around. It was a lot of different things. But when I woke up in the morning, this was something that I never expected, man. And the first person I called was you, Pop. I had to hear what your thoughts was. And it's unbelievable, man. But this is not the only trade that has occurred. It's another one that happened. A big dog and Jimmy Butler headed to the Golden State Warriors from the Miami Heat. Now, I need to know your thoughts about this, Pops, because we've heard a billion different sides to this whole catastrophe that's gone down in the way that things have ended in Miami with Jimmy Butler. But what's your thoughts on the way things have landed?
You know, I look at Phoenix Suns, who reports were in the mix to trade Jimmy Butler to Phoenix and for Kevin Durant to go to the Warriors. Kevin Durant nixed that trade, saying he did not want to go back to the Warriors. Jimmy Butler, to me, is incredibly talented, a guy that shows up when the lights are brightest, a guy that's had great moments in playoff battles and historic numbers across the board in that Miami Heat uniform. My problem with Jimmy Butler is, can I trust him? Became a problem in Chicago, became a problem in Minnesota, became a problem in Miami. And guess what? I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's not going to end well in Golden State. It's just not going to end well. That don't mean it's not going to start well. I think initially he'll be fine. And I think he'll be impactful. He can move without the ball. He can make plays. He can play out of pick and roll. One thing he does during the playoff time, and when it matters most, he gets to the free throw line, which gives you points and puts the team in a bonus, allows you to get your hands off of Steph Curry and allow the freedom to move offensively. The concern is, when Kevin Durant was with the Golden State Warriors, one thing you could bet your bottom dollar with Kevin Durant, he's going to take the high road, which he did as a player. Steph Curry, they say Steph Curry's the man. Steph Curry's the man. They say Klay Thompson, get some shot. Draymond Green, go ahead, do that. You know, I'm good. I'm going to get my 10 to 15 shots. I'm going to hit 11 shots a night, 11 for 15, get to the free throw line. I'm going to have my numbers. I'm going to win a championship. I'm going to win a 2-time MVP. I'm going to take the high road. There's never going to be any nastiness. This just in, Jimmy Butler's not taking the high road. He's not taking the high road. Jimmy Butler is 50 Cent in the NBA world. He's not taking the high road, and that's the concern. I need Jimmy Butler to buy in, to be professional, to do whatever it takes to win, and to play his part. I'm not so sure and committed. And you could take for granted what Andrew Wiggins did for them. He took the high road. He showed up and he was ready every single night. He defended, he competed, he scored. I thought he was having an outstanding season. Now, can you question his motor at times? Absolutely, historically, his motor is questionable. But he had an outstanding season for the Warriors and won jewelry for them, being an impactful player. You can't take that for granted. But Jimmy Butler's got to show up and say enough is enough with the antics, and I'm going to be in a Warrior uniform. I'm going to do whatever it takes. They signed him to a 2-year extension. Now earn that money.
That's not going to happen, Pops. Me and you both know that. The shenanigans may go on pause for 20 minutes. The nonsense may go on pause for a half a season, but it's only a matter of time. And it sucks because your habits always return to you. And we could talk about the Warriors culture. you know firsthand how amazing it is. This dude just destroyed the culture that a team that puts culture on their jersey. It doesn't matter what the culture is or where it is. It's the fact that, as you said, since the beginning of his career, this has been something that he has done. And I don't even remember the last team that hasn't left with a sour taste in their mouth. As great as a player as Jimmy Butler is, I hope that he's able to turn it around. But as you said, the expectations are not lofty.
But I don't mean to cut you off, but there's no question about his impact in uniform and in between those lines. If he can take care of that, I think it'll be a happy ending. But at the end of the day, it's just too many question marks for me to mortgage my future and bet on Jimmy Butler when he's proven time and time again that it's not going to end well.
Yeah. Now, Pops, it's so many trades, man. Another trade, big time for the San Antonio Spurs. They receive superstar De'Aaron Fox from the Sacramento Kings. What do you think of this trade?
I love it. And this is a place that was his preferred destination. He let it be known, and he got to his place. And I just watched him the other night down the stretch of a ball game. You question, okay, who they going to go to? They need a hoop, ball in their hands. They run a high screen and roll with De'Aaron Fox, turns the corner, misses. But because of his ability to create offense and make the defense collapse, he misses a shot. Wemby gets a tip and dunk, two-handed power dunk off the glass because nobody's boxing him out because of the attention that De'Aaron Fox creates when he has the basketball in his hands. I think it's an ideal situation for him. That Spurs team is loaded, not only now, but positioned with picks and money moving forward to continue to add. I did some homework. De'Aaron Fox averages 25 points per game. The last time the Spurs had a guard averaging 25 points per game was George the Iceman Gervin, years and years ago. That's a long time ago. Now, they had some great guards, but averaging 25 is a different level. De'Aaron Fox has found a home, and I think that Spurs team, the future is awfully bright, and they're going to be dangerous because they got 2 home run hitters along with great role players. They're going to have to be dealt with again. We thought every time you think the Spurs are done and fade to black, you got to deal with them another 10 years.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. The craziest part to me is the fact that the Spurs were able to hold on to their core, those guards, those young players. I was shocked when I looked at that trade and I saw that those young players weren't in the mix. And the Spurs are back, Pops. The Spurs are back. It may not be this year, but they are a problem moving forward. And it's gonna be good to see, man. Pops, we got another trade, man. The Bucks traded for Kyle Kuzma. They give up Chris Middleton. I think this is a great trade for the Bucks. I'm interested to see what's going to happen, and I'm interested to know what your thoughts are.
I think it hurt them more if you traded the Chris Middleton that was the Chris Middleton when they won a championship that they played through down the stretch of ball games and pick and rolls and isolations. He was their best pick and roll player. That guy is no longer there. You know, he's not 100%, fighting different nagging knee injuries and leg injuries. So I like getting a younger, energetic Kyle Kuzma, who probably is in a position where he's got something to prove. And his versatility adds the 3 and the 4, size, scoring punch, takes pressure off of Giannis and also Dame. That's a team that they defend and embrace on the defensive end and embrace the roles and shoot at a high clip. It can be a tough out. So I like the deal for them. Obviously, Chris Middleton, you get frustrated going from Milwaukee to Washington. You got championship aspirations. Now all of a sudden, there's no playoff basketball in Washington this year. So it can be frustrating at times. Wish him nothing but the very best. But I like the deal because they got healthy and whole and more size. You're talking about Kyle Kuzma and what he brings to the table.
Pops, the Wizards done turned into the gulag. They just you go to the Wizards to just fade into the history. Now, I don't understand what their plan is. If you're the Wizards, what do you do to reinvent yourself and start winning games and turn this around?
To me, the only thing to do is acquire picks, put yourself in a position where the future's awfully bright, get expiring contracts so that you make yourself a player when it comes free agent time in the offseason, you got to make sure that you have an opportunity to, in the summer, make things better via free agency, via the draft, and I think this is an important time because one thing I learned in coaching for 3 years, the first year we won 23 games, but one thing that it taught me, who could I trust and who I could not trust, who were legitimate actors and who was acting, who were keepers and who were guys you had to get rid of. During these times when you're playing games that don't matter, you're able to seek out who's a keeper and who's not, who has winning habits and who's part of the culture and who's destroying the culture. This is a crucial time establishing a winning culture when you're talking about the Washington Wizards.
All right, Pops. We got another trade. I think this is the last one unless another one slips through my mind. But Brandon Ingram is headed to the 66666, headed to the Raptors, man. I love this trade. I think Brandon Ingram has game. I think that they have Scotty Barnes out there and they are building something. What's your thoughts on this trade, Pops?
I really like the trade for the Raptors. I like the young talent. I like the fact that, in my opinion, in this league today, you got to have size, versatility, depth, three-point shooting, ability to switch pick and rolls. And I believe when you talk, Scotty Barnes is a heck of a basketball player to me. And you talking about 6'10", 6'9", you talking about Brandon Ingram, 6'9", 6'10", great versatility, great length. Both guys can score. R.J. Barrett, young. That's a talented team that they are assembling, that the future's bright in Toronto. Now, again, this is crucial times because now you have to, they're good enough to win games. So they shouldn't be in a situation where we talked about a minute ago, Washington. They should be competing night in and night out, no matter who they're facing, and hold each other accountable offensively and defensively and build the right habits that put them in position to win and win when it matters most. I know we talked about De'Aaron Fox, the Sacramento side, him going to San Antonio, but the Sacramento side of that is they got rid of a 25-point scorer, but they did get a 25-point scorer in return in Zach LaVine. So many times we see a team lose a franchise player and then wipe the slate clean. They didn't. They stayed in the mix by staying relevant, getting Zach LaVine, a guy that you can trust down the stretch of a ball game, that you can get quality offense from, that is back reunited with DeMar DeRozan. So they stayed relevant with an opportunity to play playoff basketball and advance because they still have loads and loads of talent, youth, and versatility. That's a team that I give a lot of credit to because they could have folded the tent losing De'Aaron Fox.
I think it's interesting. I do think that we've seen this movie with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine in Chicago, but with the pieces that they have around and the fact that the league is wide open, who knows what they can turn it into. I don't know if I'm the biggest believer. I do love watching all of them individually, but I think that it is a interesting mix of players on that Sacramento Kings starting five. And it's to be seen if it's going to work out. Another trade that's happened recently. The Cleveland Cavaliers have acquired DeAndre Hunter, Dad. It's a tough one. A team that's already at the top, getting another great player. What's your thoughts on this?
I love it. I don't know what Atlanta's doing, but I love the fact that Cleveland went and got a proven 3-and-D guy, a guy that can shoot the three ball at a high clip, and has great size and versatility, what I touched on already, that can defend. That the only issue for me with DeAndre Hunter is his health. If he's healthy, he's a bright star moving forward. And this team, you can make the case, has the best starting five in all of basketball. They are that good. They just improved off of the first half of this season, enhanced and increased their talent. It's going to be – I know that Boston is the favorite, but Cleveland is a team that says we're pushing our chips all in, and they certainly did that with this move because Karis LeVert is a guy that can score, has versatility, has size, is a proven guy. But they pushed their chips all in and went and got a younger, athletic, versatile wing player that can do a lot of things. It's going to be very interesting. And the NBA is at a high. You talked about it before. This trade deadline has been as active as a trade deadline that I've ever seen in my life. Stars moving, role players moving, franchise players moving. How it plays out is going to be fun to watch.
Pops, another team that I feel like not enough people are talking about. Somehow they're in second place in the West. The Memphis Grizzlies. What is the ceiling for this team? And should they make a move and try to go for it?
No, to me, their move is getting healthy, getting everybody healthy and whole. In spite of adversity, in spite of injuries, they are sitting at the second spot in the Western Conference, a loaded Western Conference. So to me, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to overreact. Everybody else make moves. If something becomes available for me in the buyout market, and I'm going to put myself in a position to act on it. But this is a team that has star power. They defend. They have size and versatility. I think that the thing to look for is Baines playing back to the way he played a couple of years ago. If he can give them that legitimate number 2, number 3 option scoring-wise, I wouldn't want to face them. I mean, the Western Conference is absolutely stacked. We didn't even mention the Houston Rockets, their versatility, their defensive prowess, their size. Ime Udoka once again doing an outstanding job. And I got to mention this. I know we talked about the Lakers. LeBron James is 40 years old doing the stuff he's doing on the court. I watched the game the other night. I'm sitting there like, this is unbelievable. Now, I know that I said Michael Jordan's my GOAT, and I'm sticking to that, and I really believe that. But that doesn't mean I can't acknowledge the greatness of LeBron James and what he continues to do and the level that he continues to play at 40 years old is inspiring, and it should be acknowledged.
I mean, we just keep giving it time, Pops. So who knows when if he's still playing at 45, we'll revisit it. You might be like, yo, this is he's got to be the GOAT. You never know. This dude.
I definitely would say he's second place. Like, you got to give him props.
No, it's unbelievable.
The dude is speed dribbling 100 miles per hour going downhill at 40 years old. If you was at the park, you look at me like, Dad, you got to do something. You got to step in front of him. You got to get a stop or something. He's 40 cooking you. I'm 22. That ain't happening. He is looking like the youngest dude on the floor night in and night out, which is unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a testament to his greatness, the work that he's put into his body, the consistency that he's had. This is honestly a testament to his consistency.
Think about it. You don't even have all those miles. You played the other day and called me the next day and was like, my body's killing me, Dad.
What? I felt like year 20 LeBron. It was over. I hit the game winner. It was point up. I hit the game winner. I walked down the court. I was like, yeah, ain't nothing changed.
Hilarious.
No, man. Father Time is undefeated, but this dude Brown is putting up a great fight. He's giving hands right now. But also, you just made me think. I didn't bring up this point earlier, but I do think that the Lakers still need shooting badly. I think that the trading that the players that they traded, I think you lose Connect, you lose Christie. And I think that when I look back at when LeBron won, he's always had those shooters, those real shooters, the Kyle Korvers, the Mike Millers, the J.R. Smiths, where people, he may not be a Steph Curry, but he is a player that can ring off 8 threes in a night or can go crazy. And I don't see that player on the Lakers currently. Hopefully they can find a shooter. It is tough nowadays, but we'll see.
But one thing I'll say is they are shooting better. Austin Reeves is shooting the basketball. Rui Hachimura is shooting the basketball. Gabe Vincent looks like the Gabe Vincent now all of a sudden that they brought from Miami looks healthy and whole and shooting with more confidence. So they certainly have, Dorian Finney-Smith. They got guys that are more than capable of shooting the basketball. And the shots that they're going to get playing alongside of Luka and LeBron are going to be consistent open shots because of those guys' creativity and the attention that they get with an opposing team's defense. So they're going to get shots that are makeable. And to me, it's off days coming in, getting up my shots, getting more and more comfortable and confident because I know the pressure's on Luka and the pressure's on LeBron. The pressure's not on me. I'm getting open shots. I'm not getting contested shots. Teams are going to dare me to make shots, and I'm going to make sure I'm ready.
All right, Pops. We almost approaching the end. Are you excited for the NBA All-Star Game?
Yes. As a former player, as a guy that's been around the league for so many years, I'm excited about All-Star Weekend and all of its festivities.
Ask me. Cat, ask me, Pops.
Are you excited about All-Star Weekend?
No, I'm not excited about All-Star Weekend. It's been the same thing for the last 5 years. The only thing that we look forward to is not even barely the 3-point, only because if Steph Curry wasn't in the 3-point contest, we wouldn't care right now. It's only
you can't do that.
What? It's the greatest shooter of all time, so we want to see it. We don't care.
Sabrina.
You're right. You're right. Hey, you made a good point. Shut up. I gotta be quiet. You're right. People are looking. Yeah, you're right. My bad. But it's not hitting the same, Pops. It's not. And it's I can't sugarcoat it. The competitive nature that once took over All-Star Weekend is gone. It's gone. It's dissipated. And I don't know what they have to do to get it back. But there was a day when I watched Kobe go up against LeBron, and there was a statement made in that game, and it was an All-Star game. There's no more statements being made in these games. There's no more taking it personal. There's no players that are saying I'm above y'all or separating themselves. It's very buddy-buddy. It's very friendly. And I look back at the history of the game, and I'm not happy with the way that the All-Star game is right now.
Yeah, I don't like the new format of the All-Star game, the 4 teams and all that. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I don't co-sign that, and I don't look forward to that. I just think at the end of the day, yesterday's NBA is not today's NBA. So that same mentality, that same competitive spirit, that same nastiness, that same commitment to want to prove something every single possession or every single night is not there. And I don't think you pay those guys to come show up and get that. So we're not going to get that. Embrace it, and let's look forward to having a good weekend. One thing I will say is I wish Caitlin Clark was in the shootout, even though she turned it down. And I want to acknowledge the WNBA because we're talking about the NBA, the trade deadline, all the moves. There's been some major moves in the WNBA in the offseason. Teams getting better and better with free agency moving, trades moving, and players being getting to other situations. WNBA is at an all-time high, and it didn't sit on the lead. They made movement and adjustments and acquisitions that's going to make next year even bigger than last year. So kudos to the WNBA. I'm excited about next season.
Pops, Super Bowl Sunday. Who you got, Chiefs or the Eagles?
I'm not going to be a front runner. I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
You going to say I'm not going to be a front runner and then do the fly Eagle?
I had to. If I go, I got to go all in. I'm going to say the Eagles. I don't really care who wins, but I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles with Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, an outstanding unit that's clicking on all cylinders right now. Who you like?
Pops, how you going to do this, man? When Tom Brady retired, who held you down? When you was watching the NFL season, who did you start cheering for and was like, yo, this is the closest thing to Tom that I done seen? Pat held you down, and you going to turn your back on him? You was a Chiefs fan just 2 years ago. What happened?
Not true. I got nothing against the Chiefs. I got nothing against Patrick Mahomes, but I wasn't a Chiefs fan.
Dad, you switched over. When Tom Brady retired, you was like, yo, I guess I'm a Chiefs guy.
Right string, wrong yo-yo. That's not true. You're lying now. You're lying. What are you gonna lie?
I'm not lying, Pop. I wish my brothers was here so they could say the truth. You went from a Buccaneers fan to a Chiefs fan, and your excuse was he retired. I gotta find somebody new. And I felt bad because it was like your heart was legitimately broken. So I'm like, yo, this dude is being a front runner, but I'm not gonna say nothing about it right now. So I just let you heal in the way that I knew you needed to. But now for you to flip on Pat like this is crazy, man. I need you to think about this. By the time Sunday come around, send me a pic with a Chiefs hat or something, because he held you down, man.
Oh, I got a Chiefs hat that was sent to me for Christmas.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
By the Chiefs?
No. By a guy I know in Missouri, Kansas City. Shout out my guy Jaime.
Okay. Let me get that.
No, I'm not like it was a gift. I'm gonna give you.
I'm playing, man. I'm playing. Nah, man, it's gonna be an exciting weekend, especially that performance looming, that halftime performance is looming. We don't know what's gonna go down, what Kendrick bringing, but it's gonna be a sight to see, and we gonna see it, man. You got something to say, Pops?
No, it's gonna be a great performance. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a sight to see, Pops. Shouts out to Underdog, man. Don't forget, click the link in the description and use the promo code MARK. That's MARK. That matching a first-time deposit of up to $1,000, and you can get a specialty pick. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, so show some love down there. We love y'all, man. We appreciate all the views, all the support, and all the words of encouragement.
Remember, we're all going through something. Stay positive. Stay focused. My guy, Dr. Keon Henderson said, you can't stop the storm, you just learn to dance in the rain. Whatever doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. It's important for you. Be encouraged. Blessings.